Yeah, nice to see you again and on this topic again,
Yes.
Edward Snowden.
Right.
Yeah.
The subject's going on and on and on.
And where probably it will end.
Um, where will it
Ecuador?
end? Maybe Ecuador. Seems like Ecuador is the name in play right now.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's probably the American public attention is not very long span.
Okay.
Okay, so I think gradually Snowden will move off the front page. In fact, probably already has in this country. I know that it's been on the front page of the Hong Kong newspapers every day, it
Yeah.
seems. But sooner or later, we will have some other things
Of course.
to
Yes,
think about.
you
worry
know,
about.
same-sex marriage,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
could be, actually was and probably will be the headline, Snowden, a little bit, off the side.
right. Although, frankly, the subject that Snowden brought up is of much greater concern. It concerns everybody in the world because the data mining is all around the world, whereas the same-sex marriage affects only a certain minority part of the population. Small
In America.
in America, yeah.
But
right.
the Snowden is worldwide.
It's worldwide, yeah.
It is a
absolutely.
sensation. Where he is now,
Yeah. Well, I think from all we read, and I certainly don't have secret access to
Okay.
information, seems like he's still at the transit lounge at the Moscow airport.
geographically we know where he is now,
Right.
but or otherwise, somebody probably is talking or he's probably alone. Is it possible he's alone?
Well, I think there is a woman companion sent by WikiLeaks who was, I don't know if she's still there, but she was there from Hong Kong to Moscow. And seems like she represents the linkage between
Him
Snowden
and some of the government?
and Ecuador.
Okay.
Because Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, is holed up at the Ecuadorian embassy
In Britain.
in London. Right, right.
Okay. So it is. I think I was surprised
Yeah.
by Snowden flying out from Hong Kong to somewhere.
Why are you surprised?
Kind of, he was kind of supposed to be stuck in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as we talked, last time.
Well, maybe he has certain presumptions about Hong Kong that turn out not to be so. And why is that? Well, certainly Hong Kong is subject to pressure, not only from Beijing but also from Washington. And I think the government officials of Hong Kong decided to use an American expression, punt the ball down the field and not have the hot potato in their hands.
Okay. In a scenario on this arena, probably somebody is unhappy, or other people kind of uneasy, uncertain what will go on next.
Yeah.
Why American government, the White House kind of playing down this one? The only the Justice Department officials coming out kind of outrageous, and the Congress people.
Yeah. Well, actually, Jay Carney made some comments, and he's the press secretary that voiced disapproval. John Kerry also made some very strong statements voicing disapproval. But I think typically, I don't quite agree with your statement because I think American,
They are happy, unhappy?
they were very upfront, very loud, very demanding
Yeah.
about the fact that Hong Kong should hand Snowden over, okay, which is not exactly diplomacy 101,
Okay.
to make the pound on the table and demand that you hand over Snowden, and of course Hong Kong found a way not to do that. So I'm not sure that in fact, I think the American government has been very far from being quiet about the Snowden affair. I take the view that it may be in their interest to quiet this thing down now and let Snowden, the subject of Snowden, get away from the front page and ended up in page 30 or someplace, so that there's less public attention on the subject.
Probably you're suggesting the American government officials kind of performing in front of public eyes.
Yeah.
Deep down, they actually don't want to be that kind of lousy.
Right. I think you accomplish more by doing things quietly. And it's not necessarily to the administration's interest to have so much public attention on Snowden, not because of Snowden the person, but Snowden the issues that he represents. You know, this public surveillance business. All of a sudden now, everybody in this country is aware that Big Brother is watching you, whatever you do, even if you go to the shopping center, they know. And of course, if you pretend to be going to the shopping center, but you're doing something illegal, they know that too. It's a very much under surveillance, everybody under the magnifying glass type of feeling. And I think by and large, Americans don't like that feeling.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
Well, yeah, but particularly, I think, Americans, because they pride their entitlement to privacy. Invasion of privacy is a big deal in this country, and what Snowden has exposed is that the privacy has been very thoroughly invaded.
And Snowden also, when talking with some British journalists, said actually there were five countries, Five Eyes. America,
UK,
Britain, and also Canada, Australia, New Zealand. They are doing all around.
Oh, so they
data mining the entire world. It's not about only about America.
Yeah, so this must be the British legacy, because apparently
English-speaking nations working together, trying to.
In the UK. What's it, M6 or whatever?
M5, M6.
Yeah, they have collected a lot more information than even the Americans have. So they're in the habit of getting all that information. But honestly speaking, as a ordinary, well-behaved citizen, I don't worry about that.
Actually, Asians have that kind of mentality. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what if I went to Safeway this morning or had coffee later on this morning? It doesn't matter if you know. I don't care about that. And we probably have Asians probably have the presumption that you're probably being watched anyway, right? Anyway. So it's you just need to be on behavior that will withstand being watched. Even though your information is collected, how likely is that going to? Why would anybody go out of their way to data mine your personal life if you're an ordinary person on the street? So even though, yes, they identify me, they know where I've been, and they know that I just came to the studio, but who cares? They're not going to care. They're not going after me. So I guess I can live with this.
Yeah, we can.
Surveillance type of environment that we're in.
Most of us can, but or otherwise, something could happen. Bad guys can, really also do the same kind of mining. Try to do.
Yes, that's true. I think that if they use the data mining, for example, to know when you're not home, so they can come and burglarize your home, that's a very a negative example of where data mining can go haywire if it's in the wrong hands. So I do think that to balance it, I think surveillance by law enforcement should be allowed, but private surveillance, that's highly, highly questionable, and it certainly requires public discussion and examination of the issue, and probably some rules and regulations defining how it should be used. That should be required.
Actually, yes. You know, probably a lot of homes have their surveillance systems installed, try to safeguard their property.
Burglar alarms, yeah.
Yeah, burglar alarms.
Right.
But also at the same time, the data of the status of your home
Yeah,
is somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a personal experience, and it's just happened this week.
Yeah.
Let it be known that we have a burglar alarm at our home, so burglars beware. Right? But recently there was a little. Every time we set the alarm, a signal goes to a phone number.
Yeah.
Okay, and that phone number belongs to the alarm company.
Yes.
But this week, somehow, when they set the alarm, they set the wrong number.
Okay.
And every time we set the alarm, the call ended up at somebody's private home. And that person got very, very upset because she thought she was getting crank calls, because it just, when we set the alarm, the call goes there. When she picks up, it probably goes like that, you know.
Okay.
She got so alarmed, so annoyed, she called the Mountain View police, and the police came to visit our home. And that's when we realized our alarm system was not working properly. So, you know, I guess one other thing I want to point out, the irony of the situation is that Americans, by and large, has a very positive image about a whistleblower.
Yeah.
The term whistleblower, you know, is somebody who sees something that's not right and has the courage to stand up
And speak out.
and speak up about something that's not right. Now, the history on whistleblowers are not particularly positive. Most whistleblowers, it's like almost like committing a mutiny on the high seas. You know, a mutineer sometimes is a whistleblower, and they usually end up walking the plank. Okay. And I'm afraid this is going to be the case with Snowden as well. It's going to be very difficult to see how this will end up well for him personally.
Personally.
But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I think he should be commended for his bravery and bring this whole issue to everybody's attention. If anything, if nothing else, it's going to change the international diplomacy for Washington, for the Obama administration. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to go around the world and say, you know, don't do this and don't do that. Because in back of that is, we're already doing it and we're telling you not to do it.
That's great. That's great. Actually, no, the story will stick for a while.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Snowden was kind of the most uneasy guy in this play.
Well, the best thing that can happen for the Obama administration is actually to let Snowden go to Ecuador, and so that it disappear and become a non-issue. Bringing him back, putting him on trial, is going to remind everybody all over again what this is all about. And it's really much less about Snowden. It's much more about this whole business of Big Brother watching you.
Yeah. We are watched. All
Okay.
watched. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Morning.
Welcome, Anina.
Yeah.
And you're here again,
Yeah,
talking
nice to
about
see
the
you
same
again.
guy. Yes.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice to see you.
Yeah. We're talking again about Edward Snowden.
Yep.
Yeah. Last time we talked, you told our audience, like, you know, he made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Where he is now, right or wrong? Snowden.
Snowden now in Russia, safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For him, is this the right choice or wrong choice?
I think he's made the right choice. He might not be making the right choice to come to Hong Kong, right? Because of the extradition treaty that had been executed and signed between Hong Kong and America, right? And I don't think he gave any thought about it before he came to Hong Kong. And he just thinks, oh, Hong Kong is part of China, a special administrative region, so he'd be safe, it's part of China. And China is somehow at war with the States over computer issues, hackings, and espionage and things like that. So I think he missed out something. He omitted to think that it's 50 years and change, all the treaties that have been executed and signed before 1997 will remain the same.
Yeah. Do you think he's safe now?
I think he's quite safe.
Physically or?
Physically, I think he's safe. He's now in Russia at the lounge, at the transit lounge. I think he should be safe. Even if he's in Hong Kong, when I talk about safety, the two issues, whether he's safe to live there physically, or whether he could get this sort of protection from the government. I think he's safe because there are lots of activists in Hong Kong, so-called Democrats, right? They're all keeping eyes on him. Hong Kong people are sort of interested in him, right? I don't even mind you've come to live with me, if I'm
Okay. So in Moscow, he's somewhere now.
Yeah.
Everybody tracking him down, trying at least, especially Americans and the media people. Will he be safe that way?
I think he'll be safe for some time, but I'm not sure whether he'll be safe when he goes to Ecuador. Ecuador is South America. I've never been there. It's very close to America. The Obamas can always send some secret agent to knock him down or something, to capture him. I don't know. But if he's in Russia, and he's always under the limelight, and I think he's safe. Even Putin is putting up with him. President Putin said, there's nothing wrong. He hasn't, entered into the territory of Russia. He's only a passenger in transit. He's still waiting. It's up to him whether he goes, right? There's always freedom of movement. As long as he did not step into the territory of Russia, having his passport stamped, he's still a free man,
Okay.
Yeah, he's safe.
You make it personal, like say, like if he's still in Hong Kong, he can,
I think
come
even
to
in
your
Hong
place.
Kong, even in Hong Kong, because he's quite popular, I think, right? He's under the limelight. Everybody keeps an eye on him. He's full of attraction, all these intricacies. He brought about all these, American surveillance program. Everybody's interested in him. So as long as the media, step into the arena, right, with all these journalists from the UK, Guardians, the Hong Kong tabloid April Daily, who claim to be a pro-democratic movement party, backing up the Hong Kong so-called democracy movement. They all kept an eye on him.
Snowden told the world, actually, Americans are working with British government and also Canadian, New Zealand, Australia, Five Eyes.
Five Eyes, yeah. Oh, in acting, I said in collusion.
Yeah. So they put the entire world under surveillance.
Yeah.
You think, Russians will be also under surveillance?
No, I think from my very point of view, I think Russia has their own system, has their own spy, KG5. I think that still exists. And I don't think the Americans or the whatever in collusion with an American, UK, British, New Zealanders, or Aussies, they can't really submerge into the systems. Russians have their own way of working out things.
So Russia probably is in a stronger position try to deal with American on Snowden issue.
Yeah, even after the Cold War, right? After the breakdown of communism, falling apart of the communist regime, I still think the Russian is always in opposition to the States. There's opponents, counterparts.
Okay.
So I think he should stay in Russia for a bit, sell the information, make some money, and go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Make some money?
Yeah.
What way?
Selling this important information. I'm sure the Russian government, the spying system, is very interested in the surveillance program embarked upon by the American government.
The content side or the technology side?
I think everything.
But then Snowden is if he is a kind of analyst,
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but he's kind of a technical guy,
Yeah.
not a content guy.
He's not yet true. He's not into politics, right? He's only a technician, so to
Yeah.
speak. He didn't even get a degree. But he's so much immersed into the system, the NSA. So he's bound to know something, that'd be crucial.
How to get into the system.
Yeah, for example, get in the system, how to analyze the information, how to extract information,
Mm-hmm.
how to, so to speak, hack into the computers. He knows all these sort of things, the tricks played by the, NSA.
Well, actually, my kind of instinct think is like, if it is dying down, diplomacy is in work.
Yeah. Well, when you say dying down, I think in the eyes of the public, the average general public in the street, right, average people like us. But I don't think diplomatically it's dying down. But diplomatically, the
Actually, it's
Obama
up.
is not really sort of in his favor.
So it could be there cannot be a solution in the working.
I'm sure they must be working somewhere behind.
Yeah, yeah.
They must be. The American government, well, the NSA, they're full of resources, they're full of energies, they're full of people, manpower deployed everywhere in the world.
Your point of view, in what way Snowden will serve his own personal good?
Well, at least he divulged all these mechanisms whereby how the American carry out the surveillance program into each and every details of life, I would say, or walks of life. Invasion into your privacy, invasion of other governments' policies, such as Hong Kong. After the interview we had 2 weeks ago, I went back and read the news. They were sort of hacking into the university's computers, the Chinese university's computer program, the civil
Telecommunication,
service
yeah.
programs. They're hacking into it, and all walks of life they go into it. Well, what's it going to do with the American government about the education policies, about how democratic you are? What sort of fundings you're putting into the Hong Kong government, such as the building of roads or bridges and things. And they're going into even the civil service.
So, yeah, Hong Kong people, of course, are kind of unhappy with this kind of intrusion. Yeah. Where the story will end? You think, Snowden will be in jail somewhere, or if he's not in Ecuador?
I hope not.
Hope not.
He should be in jail. He should be a free man.
Yeah, yeah.
He should be free. And, we're talking about democracy here, right?
Okay.
You have always, one of the very important principles of democracy is freedom of movement, freedom of expressions and representations.
Is there any possibility that he can have a plea bargain with the U.S. government?
I don't think so. I'm sure the American government will chase after him.
Yeah.
Everywhere, every corner in the world. I don't think so. Plea bargaining, what will you get? Shut up? Signing a confidentiality agreement?
Yeah.
Or pay him a sum of money and ask him to go to the North Pole? I don't think so. Somebody must be very angry
Yeah,
at the
of
back
course,
of the
very
American
angry.
government.
But if he goes to Ecuador,
Yeah.
he will spend the rest of his life there.
Yeah, but I've just been reading some news this morning. Ecuador is actually signing trade treaties with the States. I'll be reading it, right? Because that's why I'm puzzled. Ecuador about a week ago was offering asylum
Yeah.
to this poor man, who is seeking, asylum as a refugee status. But somehow there's some kind of conference going on in Malaysia sometime, and they're meeting the Americans' representative. They've signed some trade agreements, right? And the Americans are going to buy more goods from
Yeah,
Ecuador. I don't know what
agriculture good.
agriculture. I don't know
Yeah.
what products they're producing. I have no idea. Americans giving them sort of low tax benefits and things like that. I'm not too sure. So Ecuador is a bit hesitant now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It shouldn't take weeks. It's more than a week now. Ecuador said, his asylum-seeking process or application will take slowly. I don't know what you mean by slowly. Weeks, months, or years?
Oh, actually, Ecuador is signaling like you don't come here now.
Yeah.
Let's probably. I'm talking with the United States. Probably Snowden is only a kind of bargaining chip.
Yeah. I think there must be some kind of bargaining is too nice a word for you to describe.
Okay.
I think some sort of trade retaliations.
Okay.
Ecuador is not as as strong or as rich as the states here. So maybe lots of things Ecuador has relied upon the American government to boost up the economy, the trade, and things like that. So I think Ecuador, I don't know, the government of Ecuador has stepped back. And
So it's
we
easy for us
consider-
to talk about Snowden, but for the moment, Snowden is the most feels the most uneasy. Everything.
Yeah.
He's Moscow. Where to
Yeah,
go?
Moscow.
How to go?
I don't know.
Where to stay?
Remains as a mystery.
And also, we look at him probably down the road. The rest of his life is
Don't know. It's dangling.
yeah. And
it's
also
always
more possibilities are very high.
Yeah.
He ends up somewhere.
And what I'm afraid is if he goes elsewhere in transit, CIA or FBI, whatever, government, federation will come and,
Hunt him,
yeah,
get him.
get him.
Then
and
even hunt him down.
hunt him down. Whether it's assassinations or
Accident.
deprivation
How
of
about
liberty, or accident. Well, I don't know. He could easily,
Disappear.
vanish in this world.
Okay.
So the media is very important for his own protection, And interestingly, he booked a flight, I think 2 days ago, from Moscow. I think it's in Moscow to Cuba, but
He didn't do it.
I don't know. He booked the flight. All the information being sent out, and all the reporters were waiting in Ecuador. Supposed to be transferred from Cuba to Ecuador. All the journalists, all the media is waiting, including the Hong Kong journalists waiting at Ecuador's airport, but he never showed up. So we all think that he must still be in Russia, in his so-called safe haven.
Yeah. But that safe haven is only temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Seems to be a Russian government is not, trying to keep him there.
Wash the hands clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even then, the chief executive of Hong Kong is very released now.
Yeah, of course.
Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Rid this troublemaker.
So from your point of view, that we're kind of, especially Hong Kong government is kind of dismissed. A lot of ways.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I've seen the reportings about the chief executive when we were here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Chief executive, it's called Mr. Leung, commented and say, just an exceptional incident. We're looking into it. Now, 2 weeks later, he's gone to Russia, and the chief executives again being questioned about this by the public and by the media. It's like, wow, and we respect the law, and he followed the laws, he left Hong Kong. We'll certainly look into it, but as Hong Kong respect the law so much, then nobody has violated the law. He washed his hands clean.
Yeah. The only guy who he's trying to wash, but who is not trying to wash and probably can never wash clean is Snowden by himself.
Yeah. He sort of kept quiet, but now he's released. He's gone. That's his decision.
Yeah.
But we have always respected the law. He followed the law. We allowed him to leave Hong Kong.
Okay.
Because interestingly, the American did not get the papers in order for the extradition. You need sort of papers, affirmations in support, to prove the identity. This is Edward Snowden. I'm now trying to extradite him back to America. But I think something wrong with the papers. I'm not sure. I don't know what went wrong in the affirmation. There's some sort of extradition papers. So as long as the papers are not in order, Hong Kong can't turn him in. So he's still a free man.
Yeah.
So they must allow him freedom of movement to leave Hong Kong. He's only a passenger in transit or a tourist. He got a valid visa coming. I don't know whether he needs a visa. I think he got a visa coming into Hong Kong. As long as he landed, I think they gave him 90 days to remain in Hong Kong, as a tourist. So that's why the Hong Kong government say we respect the law. He's not a prisoner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.